Hello everybody, my name is Graham Elwood. You are watching The Political Vigilante. So, the military had bioweapons that snuck out a while ago? One of them might be COVID-19? Wait, what? Oh, our friend of the show, Whitney Webb, just put this out. All roads lead to dark matter, posted by Whitney Webb and Raul Diego. April 1st. Whitney Webb, who I had on the show, she did a great, 4 or 5 deep articles about the Epstein case. Dug so deep on it. She was one of the people digging the deepest. I had her on the show. And now look what she's uncovering. And we're going to have her on the show. I've set up an interview with her on Monday. But in the meantime, let's go over her article, which is in the show notes. The leaders of 2 controversial pandemic simulations that took place just months before the coronavirus crisis, Event 201 and Crimson Contagion, share a common history: the 2001 biowarfare simulation Dark Winter. Dark Winter not only predicted the 2001 anthrax attacks, but some of its participants had clear foreknowledge of those attacks. This is a very thorough, in-depth article. I suggest you read it all the way. And as I said, we're going to have Whitney on the show to really get into this. But this just broke, and I wanted to bring it to you. During the presidency of George H.W. Bush in the early 1990s, George H.W. Bush, head of the CIA, something disturbing unfolded at the U.S. top biological warfare research facility at Fort Detrick, Maryland. One of you mentioned it during one of my live streams recently. Join the live stream, like and subscribe, become a political vigilante. Specimens of highly contagious and deadly pathogens, anthrax and Ebola among them, had disappeared from the lab. Wait, I thought America's military was we were a force for good that just went out and stopped bad guys that wouldn't give us their oil. I didn't know that we did awful shit. Zink, doink, bing, boink. Golly gee. At a time when lab workers and rival scientists had been accused of targeted sexual and ethnic harassment, and several disgruntled researchers had left as a result. So maybe this was a cover-up, the sexual stuff, or it really happened and they used it as an opportunity while everyone's... See how the distraction works? Weird that a former head of the CIA that became president, that this distraction works quite well. We know this, right? Right? It's like when the Epstein thing happened, and they just focused on the celebrities a little bit or big names, which was important, but they didn't go deep into the CIA and the Mossad. They didn't do that. Remember when I had John Kiriakou on the show? Again, go to my Jeffrey Epstein playlist. But you see how this? Sexual allegations, that's what everyone was talking about. So no one was talking about that, as I said, disappeared. Deadly pathogens disappeared from the lab. This wasn't really reported that heavy back in the early 90s. Huh. I was right around the time the media got really corporate. In addition to missing samples of anthrax, Ebola, hantavirus, and a variant of AIDS, 2 of the missing specimens had been labeled unknown, an Army euphemism for classified research whose subject was secret, according to reports. Yeah, like the lab didn't know. It was unknown. I don't know. It just seemed weird. Was it like a soda pop that went bad? Bing, boink. An internal Army inquiry in 1992 would reveal that one employee, Lieutenant Colonel Philip Zack, had been caught on camera secretly entering the lab to conduct unauthorized research apparently involving anthrax. The Hartford Courant would later report. Zack would continue to do infectious disease research for pharmaceutical giant Eli Lilly No, the pharmaceutical companies got involved. Remember when coronavirus first started hearing about it? I said on this show, gee, it's going to spread, get really bad, and then weird, some pharmaceutical company's going to have a vaccine and they're going to make $1 trillion off of it. Weird. Pharmaceutical giant Eli Lilly would collaborate with the U.S. National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Disease throughout the 90s. Boy, that's never happened before. Somebody working for the military who then gets a job with a big corporation. Usually it's a defense contractor, but in this case, with biowarfare, you get a job with a pharmaceutical company. This is biowarfare. This is their biowarfare lab where this stuff just disappeared. The same lab, a decade later, would be officially labeled as the source of the anthrax spores responsible for the 2001 anthrax attacks. Remember that? After 9/11, there was anthrax everywhere, keeping America scared, and it was terrorists. The terrorists was our own government. That's who terrorizes the American people the most, is the CIA and the Pentagon and the NSA. That's who terrorizes the American people the most. It ain't Russia. More recently, this past July, the same Fort Detrick lab would be shut down. This past July? Weird. 6 months later, a virus breaks out? Wacky coincidence. The same lab in Fort Detrick would be shut down by the CDC after it was found that researchers did not maintain an accurate or current inventory for toxins and failed to safeguard against unauthorized access to the select agents. So we're really supposed to that just as a bunch of bungling, just like remember when Epstein hung himself with a paper t-shirt? Remember over the summer when I said the minute he was denied bail, I go, he's going to be murdered in prison. And I said, when he is murdered in prison, they're going to try to hang it on bumbling guards. And who are the only two people that were charged in the Epstein case thus far? Ghislaine Maxwell and Prince Andrew? Oh no, 2 guards. The footage disappeared. He hangs himself with a paper t-shirt. Who knows what really happened? Graham, why are you bringing up Jeffrey Epstein? It has nothing to do with coronavirus. I'm showing you the tactics of the CIA. The tactics of the deep state. This is why I'm drawing this conclusion. Bumbling guards. So highly deadly toxins. Oh, just a couple of privates on Snapchat forgot to lock the door and the pathogens jumped out and got away. At the government research. Yeah. That June 2001 exercise, known as Dark Winter, also predicted many aspects of government pandemic response that would later reemerge in last October's simulation Event 201, which predicted a global pandemic caused by a novel coronavirus just months before the COVID-19 outbreak. They do a simulation in October called Event 201. It's first reported in late December in China. Remember how the Chinese said the American military started this? And we said they're crazy. This is a China virus. Trump called it the China virus. Remember the Chinese accused the American military of spreading this virus? Other major players in Dark Winter are now key drivers behind the Biodefense mass surveillance programs being promoted as a technological solution to COVID-19 spread. There it is. There it is. More surveillance. Stay scared in your home. Not that COVID-19 isn't a real threat, but you see how terrified they got us? So they're going to start sprinkling in stories. China virus, they started it. Is Iran behind this virus? Oh, keep us all scared. So now we will gladly give up more of our surveillance, more of our rights. Remember the Patriot Act? The terrorists at 9/11 What happened after 9/11? Gave up all of our rights, the Patriot Act, which was supposed to, they should have sunset the Patriot Act. It was written initially to be sunset. After this war is over, then it ends. Nope. Obama kept it going. Who was his vice president? Joe Biden. This was before he had dementia, but while still being a rapist. Now he's a rapist with dementia. And neoliberals think he's better than Trump. Okay, sure. But, see? And by the way, the democratically controlled Congress earlier last year gave Trump the power to extend the Patriot Act. That's the Democratic Party that's fighting our resistance. 8 years of Obama, who increased surveillance. Bush was awful. Obama was worse. And Obama and Biden gave Trump a dictator's playbook, basically. They laid out all the laws for... So now they're going to use COVID-19 for more surveillance because they're going to maybe say China spread this disease. China. Russia maybe. Maybe Russia did it. Others still have close connections to the insider trading that recently occurred among a select group of U.S. senators regarding the economic impact of COVID-19 and are set to personally profit from lucrative contracts to develop not just one, but the majority of experimental COVID-19 treatments and vaccines currently under development by the U.S. companies. So people from this lab who got job with big pharmaceutical companies, who were paying some of these senators, were all in on this thing in October. And then when that information got leaked, or not leaked, but was said to some senators, Republican and Democratic senators, Feinstein and Republicans alike, they sold their stock. A bunch of executives sold a bunch of stock, knowing the markets were going to crash when this pandemic hit. So they planted it, they started it, and they profited from it. So when people are dying and there's frontline workers who don't have enough masks, these assholes in the ruling class, Republicans and Democrats alike, Trump, the Bushes, the Clintons, the Obamas, Pelosi, Mitch McConnell, they're all vapid pieces of shit. So when the body starts stacking up from this shit over the summer, this is the ruling class. This is who did it. And they're going to deflect the blame. How do I know this? That's how I know this. April 1st, not an April Fool. U.S. lawsuits seek to pin coronavirus blame on China. Allegations of negligence raise legal questions about responsibility. That just came out. Just came out. And I bet you this has nothing to do with the fact that China and Russia and Pakistan and a bunch of other Central Asian countries have just stopped using the dollar to trade. Oh, yeah. I wonder if that has anything to do with that. I'm going to do a whole nother video on that, kids. Normally countries, that's been the global currency since like World War II, basically. Since America became a superpower. This country's currency, that country's currency, we're going to trade with dollars. All these Russia and China and these Central Asian countries, Kazakhstan and the like, Pakistan, they said, no, we're done. That's what this is all about. Every time somebody stops using the petrodollar, Saddam stopped the petrodollar, we killed him. Gaddafi stopped using the petrodollar, we killed him. But Graham, they were evil dictators. Yeah, so are the Saudis. The Saudis are evil dictators. They just chopped up a journalist in a fucking garden. They stone women for having affairs, bury a woman up to her neck and throw stones at her head till she's dead. That's the trial. That's the trial in Saudi Arabia. They do that and we have no problem with it. We had a problem with Saddam Hussein when he went off the petrodollar. We have a problem with Gaddafi when he went off the petrodollar. We have a problem with Venezuela because they won't give up their oil. We have a problem with Iran because they won't give up their oil. If you let America have your oil, you can do whatever the fuck you want to do to your own citizens. We don't care. If Putin let us have his oil and did business and did what we wanted him to do, he could do whatever the fuck. He could set people on fire in fucking Red Square and we wouldn't give a shit. That's what Corona's all about, kids. Control, ownership, mass surveillance, and sticking it to our enemies who are circumventing us, who don't want to do business with us anymore because we're fucking awful, evil, corrupt empire. We are not a democracy. Our elections are completely rigged. Watch this Democratic primary. It's been completely rigged. It's been completely rigged. We're a kleptocracy run by oligarchs, and both parties are professional wrestling characters. It's Coke versus Pepsi, kids. It's bullshit. That's why you watch this show. Because they're not saying this on the corporate media. No one's wearing a Green New Deal shirt on MSNBC or CNN. They're just keeping you scared. Divided, distracted, and afraid. That is the three-prong approach of the corporate media. Like, share, subscribe. Go to patreon.com, rockfin.com. You're all making Gotham great again. Hey, everybody. Like, share, and subscribe. Hit the bell notification button and the subscribe button, even if you've done it before, because they're unsubscribing, many of you, every day. Watch the ads all the way through. If you click skip ad, I don't get paid. Also, support us at patreon.com/Graham Elwood or rockfin.com/Graham Elwood. Rockfin.com is a blockchain cryptocurrency platform. All my videos are on Rockfin ad-free. Thanks for watching.